There you go.
There we go. Ha! Howdy, folks. Pretty Pooch is here on a Friday night. Who'd have thunk, huh, babe?
Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thunk that we ain't there in the chair passed smooth out already? What?
You were. I had to wake him up because he wanted to go live tonight. Since we didn't go live Wednesday, my podcast stole Wednesday night spot, and so he was like, "Let's go live tonight."
Yep.
So he scheduled it, and I forced myself to stay awake the whole time because I knew as soon as he laid back, that was it. And then I woke him up. It was 20 till or something like that. I was like, "You gonna go live?"
Yeah. It was. I was sawing some logs too because Pretty and I went and had us Friday night dinner like we normally do. We went and had our favorite place.
Old folk time.
Yeah,
4:30.
We actually got our dinner and back home in between 5 o'clock. Well, it's barely after 5 when we got back home. So we already had dinner and all. We beat the crowd. We didn't drink, but we got to sit at the bar and eat our meal at the Texas Roadhouse. We love going there. That's just one of the places. It used to be Cracker Barrel, as a lot of y'all know, but it's kind of turned and shifted since Texas Roadhouse came in close in Crowley. Now that's where we go.
Yeah,
man, we love it too. But yeah,
what do you normally get?
Where at
Texas Roadhouse?
Oh, shoot. Usually I get the hand cut 16 ounce medium. And of course, we get the salad, and we get I used to get sweet potato loaded, and we had fried pickles and roll. Yeah, and then I even brought my puppy dogs home a snack because they always know they're getting a snack when we go there, and he
always does. But because they've got him trained because he trained them in the beginning, so now they have him trained, and he brings home something for them to snack on every single time. Let's go to the chat, even though I'm sure we're not going to have a ton of people in here since it's all kinds of Friday night stuff going on. There's Joe Fix It For You. It was a toss up between my Mrs. Gillum Farms ball cap and my Joe Fix It For You ball cap, and I just thought this one might go with this color. I mean, who cares? But I'm wearing Joe's next time. So there's Marianne Bimler.
Hi, Marianne. Hey, Joe.
Yep. Joe Fix It For You. Texas Raider 1122 says, howdy, everyone.
Howdy, folks. Howdy, sir. Welcome in.
Rebecca Touched by Yarn is here.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you, ma'am?
And Scotty Lone Cross #MTP. He is here.
What's up, Scotty?
Jennifer Ocean Homestead is in the house.
Howdy, Jennifer. How are you, ma'am?
There's Brian, the Vineyard Farmhouse. Brian and I had a little chat this morning. We'll have to touch base on what Brian and I chatted about.
What's up, Brian?
Evelyn Newman is here.
Howdy, ma'am.
She is painting and listening. What are you painting? The house or a portrait? Yeah.
Paint me a Birmingham.
I could be taking a nap.
Well, I had me a quick one.
Brian. I could be taking a nap.
Yeah.
Hey, Susie Jacobson is in the house.
Howdy, Susie. How are you, ma'am?
Jerry and Susan Butler Family Farm says, what are you guys doing? We just decided to
just get in there.
Yeah, we just started to squeeze in there.
Howdy, Jerry and Susan.
There's Troy Sutton.
What's up, Troy?
And I know it's not Wednesday, but my podcast stole Wednesday night's spot. So Pooch wanted to go live, so I thought, why not?
Yeah, and it's Friday night, but then again, Pooch's got something on his mind he's got to say. And I thought long and hard about it. And
Hi, Marianne.
I've thought, do I say anything? Which I probably shouldn't. And it really doesn't concern me. And I really don't give an iota.
There's Gypsy Trails.
Gypsy Trails. Howdy. But
hold on, let me finish. I'm almost to the bottom, and then you can do all your talking. Oh, she's painting Christmas gnomes.
Oh, hey, all right. It's that time of year coming.
Hi, Joy. Joy says she's been drinking, but she said sorry, but I'm here. Don't apologize, Joy.
Ain't no need.
You don't have to apologize for drinking.
Already had me a cold snack earlier.
Yeah, he sure did. So no need to apologize if you've had some drinks. It's Friday night.
Yep.
Anyways, so let me just preface that. Hello, Our new land, I have been wondering what has been going on with you guys, but and yes, I thought you were going to call, but I know you're busy, as is everyone, and I hope that you are well and all is well in your family. And so good to see you. There's Resourceful Living Homestead. I'm glad you guys are here.
Yep.
But anyways, let me just preface what Pooch is about to touch base on. I have nothing to do with what he is saying. He speaks his mind. I speak mine. After you finish, I need to tell everybody what Brian and I chatted about earlier. And it's funny. It's a little bit more lighthearted, but Pooch has been sharing with me some videos from.
And it's stupid.
Anyway, actually. Our new land, Ryan and Devin. But so I share my thoughts with Pooch, but I don't say them publicly. So this is all Pooch.
But baby probably tends to agree or somewhat with me on it. You're just not going to say nothing.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that he says that, or his feelings I do agree with at maybe not all of them. And I mean, it's not as harsh, but I do think that there are some things that happen in people's lives that if at all it can be kept private, then it should. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead. Say which one.
And this probably, and I've thought, do I even say anything about it or not? I mean, but it also comes back to, I really don't care either. But it's kind of disheartening. And this is probably, I'm going to keep it cool for the Pretty and Pooch show, because it probably should be something that should be on Pooch Uncensored, more than likely. But anyway, as a lot of y'all know, a lot of y'all probably seen all of this crap going on. And I don't even want to say the channel, but there's a lot of bickering going back and forth. There's a lot of he said, she said. There's a lot of narcissistic tendencies going on here. And these folks love to post it. And it's just outright ridiculous, actually. And I've had a lot of respect for this particular channel. And honestly, it's probably one of the only reasons that Pooch got into this stuff. And y'all, a lot of you folks may know who I'm talking about as we get on through it. But as you get on, a lot of you folks are my friends. A lot of you folks are acquaintances. I mean, we've met. A lot of you folks I've never met in here. But I still consider y'all my friends. We don't have the interaction on personal level, but if we ever did, it would be great. But
before you continue, I'm sorry, one more thing. I don't know these people personally. I've never met them, but if I were someone coming on to that channel, I certainly probably wouldn't subscribe.
Yeah.
Because of, it's just too much for a person like me. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And if any of you folks have an inkling of who I may be referring to, feel free to post. I'm just curious, because I'm sure a lot of you've seen it, because a lot of us probably started out and came from there. But to get to a point where none of the things that is happening to you in your life, or if you become supposedly so big, a guru, and you think you're a god at it or whatever it may be, and then you feel as if other people are using you, turning on you, for whatever reason, and then they vanish, that's a problem. And I've seen some good people come out of this wash with this particular person. And it's, it really just rubs me the wrong way. And I've given this person the benefit of doubt. I so wished I could say something, but I would think most of you folks would probably get the picture and know. And I've thought, man, I could go on a rant on this particular thing. but then I'd just be bad mouthing them.
You'd be right in there with
I would
them.
be in it with them. But it really just, I mean, it's along a lot of the lines of like even our country as we're the country we're in and what we deal with as a country. We're so divisive. But I just can't get over how this particular person and the person that's involved with this, the other YouTube channel, these folks are way, way, way more better than that. And I feel sorry for them that they got caught up in it. And I'm hoping on their side we don't see no more. And now a lot of these videos have already been pulled because I'm sure there's been a lot of flack. I can tell you that. I've seen a lot of it, but I probably need to do this on a Pooch Uncensored.
You do, because I really don't want to be involved.
I'm trying not to get off into a tangent on this person and particular, and it's crazy. I respect them for what they've done as far as being in YouTube.
But if you respect what they've done as far as being in YouTube, yet you
it's how they handle themselves with possibly a lot of it going to their head, because honestly, there's other channels way bigger than this particular person that don't do that stuff, and you won't see. That's why I'm really probably shouldn't even say anything about this. I don't want us to be labeled in anything like that.
I'm not. I don't have any involvement in. Yeah, you need to say this on your Pooch channel. Now that you've got everybody here saying what's going on, everybody,
and it doesn't concern us. I mean, we're not involved in it in any way. It wasn't directed at us in any way or anything like that. It's just what I've been watching and seeing.
Hi, Texas Raider. I'm so glad that you are here and that you're new here. And if you want to, you can drop FBC and it'll drop the link to your channel. And I'm going to squash what Pooch was saying, because there are people on here that are saying they're lost. They have no clue. And I really don't want to be in on this conversation, because I don't know who these people are. I've never subscribed to these people's channels. It doesn't involve us at all. He was just giving his opinion. Yeah. So, and I
would really love to take it up face to face with the person,
but you're not even involved in it.
No, it
doesn't have anything to do with you.
I'm not involved in it, but that's just how Pooch is. I'll be like, you know what?
Hi, Heather.
Maybe I'll leave it at that. But it's rubbed. It's really
Hi, Lori
got me.
Carp. Hi, Dink and Tank.
Dink and Tank, Lori Carp. Howdy, ma'am.
There's Simply Jan.
Howdy, Jan.
And who else? Hey, YT Dark Gaming.
Hey.
YouTube Dark Gaming.
Possibly been in there. I think they've been in here before. Welcome in. Appreciate it.
And then a couple of channels that knew who you were talking about. I don't know. But so I'm going to, Dink and Tank stays away from drama. I do too.
Yeah.
Hi, Cora Phelps. How are you? Welcome in. Wanda Henry. Hello.
Howdy, Wanda.
It's not Wednesday, Wanda, but Pooch just got a wild hair, and
we missed our spot Wednesday. Pretty had her no judgment on, so
I swiped our spot, and
which is okay.
So hi, Teresa Jugowitz.
Teresa,
glad you're here. What's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? It's coming up. Hi, Bowen.
It's coming.
Hey, there's Piggy's Piddle.
Hey, Piggy. And speaking of, I hope everybody, which I'm sure you did, everybody got to get out and vote. Everybody got out and voted. And, we'll see what happens in the next 4 years.
Brian said, stick with your IOTAs, Pooch.
Yeah, I really don't. It's my IOTAs are they're there.
You don't know what you're going to do yet, Scotty. We are, so my sister, since my mom, my parents, prior to my meeting Pooch, what did you guys do where'd you go to Thanksgiving when you, Ben and your spouse, and what did you guys host it, or did y'all go to your mom's?
We did both. We went to my parents, we went to her parents, we had it at our house. They came to our house. So it was a mix of all of it. Good times too.
Well, prior to working on Thanksgiving, but celebrating with the family the weekend before. That's what
Yes,
we're doing.
yep.
So we're celebrating. So when my parents were alive, my mom would always host everything. Thanks, Wanda. And so we would always go to my parents' house. But since my parents have passed, my eldest sister, I have two older sisters, an older brother and a baby brother, younger brother. And so after my parents passed, my older sister decided to take the reins. And so she's hosted them at her house. We hosted it here once at our house, but we're going to her house the weekend before Thanksgiving. And
the weekend of Pretty Pooch are going to Fredericksburg. We're going.
That was a surprise. Pooch said we're going to Fredericksburg.
Yeah, we're going to go to a place which is down in the hill country in Texas, and we've gone there a lot. It's been what, 2-3 years since we've been?
Probably 2
years. And so I know Pretty's been mentioning it, and we've been camping and all. I was like, well, I need to take my Pretty down to Fredericksburg. We need to go down there, especially right at Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. So they'll probably be decked out and lit up and all that stuff. So looking forward to it.
He said we should go, and then we realized that we were having Thanksgiving the weekend before, and on Thanksgiving Day we are going to have our children over and do something different, and then we're going to leave the next morning. But that was a big surprise. Like,
I'm ready.
He had mentioned it. I may have mentioned it that I want to go a lot, and then I just haven't mentioned it. Working a lot, and then he surprised me.
And if y'all are familiar, I know a lot of these folks aren't in Texas or from Texas, but Fredericksburg is down in what they call the hill country of Texas. And we're actually, and I know you've heard the songs because Pretty and I have been there a lot, and that's where we'll go again while we're down there. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas with Waylon and Willie and the boys. We actually go to Lukenbach, Texas. So looking forward to that too.
Yeah, it's fun.
And then Albert's Ice House. And
Albert's Ice House. Yep, that's so much fun.
And we're not staying at the YO Ranch this year, though.
No, but we are taking one of our puppies.
Yeah.
We're taking the baby. We're taking little bitty Lucy. She's super tiny. And
I hope the dogs aren't listening because they're going to be hacked.
And the other two, which normally go with us or have gone with us, both of them have gone with us, actually. One went solo before we got rescued Izzy. And then when we rescued Izzy, we took both Izzy and Skittles on a trip. They went in canoes with us, and they got to go on. It's like having kids. And this time we're taking the baby and not the other two because they are very rough. Well, not Skittles, but Izzy is she's very
jealous.
Rough with her. And like I found 2 scabs, one on each side of her neck. And Izzy, we've caught her on camera, like
bawling.
Yeah. So
it turns on a little loose.
She does. And Lucy's 2 pounds, maybe. Yeah, she might be 2 pounds.
We're
taking her.
I don't think she's 2 pounds.
Yeah, maybe a pound and a half. We're sneaking her out.
We're going to sneak her out, and other dogs are going to be hacked. But Skittles, anyway, he doesn't travel. He likes to think he does, but he doesn't travel too well.
He does.
Now, E travels well.
She does.
Lucy will probably be fine without him because she won't be feeding off Mister.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know she's going to be in your lap the whole way anyway.
She'll be in my lap the whole way. And yeah, so we get to do that. What else? What is everybody else doing?
I'm looking forward to that too. And I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving with the family.
Me too.
And of course, after we come back, Pooch will be off a week. Again, I'm ready. I got to use up my PTO from work, and I got like 2 weeks to kill by the end of the year. So I'm going to use a week then, and then I'll just start taking maybe, I don't know how I'll do it because Christmas will be here before you know it. And I have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off. So I got to burn those days somewhere.
Yep. You got to get my yard all spruced up so I can get all my stuff out.
Woo! Got a lot to do in there, huh?
Yes. Jan says she wants lobster and steak this year.
Ooh, that sounds good
so
too.
Good.
Yeah, we'll do something untraditional here at our house with the kids.
Texas Raider is going to their cousins for Thanksgiving, and they're doing green beans with bacon, corn, and dinner rolls. Yum.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sure I'll get my fill of dressing and all that at Nana's, but because there'd be some good food there too. There always is.
Ugh, and so much, and I get full so fast, and I hate it.
I'm gonna go on a famine that week prior.
Okay.
That way I can load up that day.
We'll do a fast.
Yeah.
But I think fasting shrinks your stomach, and then you really won't be able to eat.
Pooch don't fast. You can't even make it 12 hours without having a snack.
Rebecca says she's going to be cooking her own Thanksgiving dinner, and we're not doing turkey. They're doing chicken.
I'm not a turkey fan anyway.
Gypsy Trails says they love Texas Hill Country. Where do you guys live?
Oh, yeah.
Gypsy Trails.
Love it down there.
Do you guys live in Texas? Yes, love Hill Country.
Mm-hmm. Kerrville. We've been down in Kerrville and Bandera and
what's going on, Piggy?
All that stuff.
I appreciate all the greetings. I've recently had my own bit to contend with, so I'm backing off just a bit.
My poor Piggy. I know what you mean, Piggy, but
you're right, Evelyn.
Pooch loves Piggy.
I love that place. Great to see everyone in the chat.
Yeah,
great to see you, Heather and Lori Carr.
Mm-hmm. It is great to see everybody. On a Friday night, we snuck in on you, so
it is beautiful down there.
Yeah. Yeah, we usually stay at the YO Ranch, if anybody's familiar with that, down in Kerrville. That's mainly the place we've stayed all the time. But we actually got a cabin this time. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's a pretty nice little cabin we'll be staying at, private this time. So it's in a community, but it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun.
It will be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Scotty says he was hoping to have it in his new house, but we gave the new house to a family who lost everything in a fire. So now we're back to square one and looking for our house. Wow. What a huge blessing.
Yep. That's a blessing, and I'm quite certain it'll be returned to you.
Absolutely.
In some fashion or form.
You're right. And Brian says he cannot wait to take Dexter on a road trip.
All right. Yeah. Dexter probably can't wait either, Brian.
That's right, Heather. Stay away from drama.
Yep.
Hey, John Walls. He says, hey, Mike, thanks for the happy birthday comment on Facebook.
Yeah, what's up, John? How are you, sir?
Hello, Making It Home. How are you?
Making it home. Yep. How are
Joel
you, folks?
And Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. And Arnie Land says, Thanksgiving Day with the in-laws, Friday with my birth family. Oh, Thanksgiving Day with the in-laws and Friday with his birth family. Nice. How precious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Isn't it great to have so much family?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving.
My dad's birthday this past week too. And that was a good time hanging out over there and eating. Walita always has good food. So that was good.
So fun.
And just celebrate my dad,
Mm-hmm. My gosh. Family is the most important. Heather says that she cannot wait for Thanksgiving with her family.
Need to see mammy. I'm surprised old mammy ain't in here right now. She might be lurking.
Gypsy Trails says, I'll have Thanksgiving dinner at Wild Coyote.
Hey, sounds good to me. And
Lauren says, we are smoking a 25-pound turkey with all of the sides.
Woo-wee.
Yummy. I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know what? Again, I know all of you guys that are regular subscribers know that this is my favorite time of the year. And the reason is because, just family. It's just family gets together more. And I know everybody has busy lives and everything, but it's just a time where family gets together, and that's my favorite. Like I know and love being with family,
especially even now more so because we're getting older, and then you look back and you have the memories of when you were young, growing up with all your cousins, and we just don't have that anymore. A lot of us all the cousins of kids have grown up. They're in their own lives and their own families now, and it's spread out, but. We'll grow, and I'm sure y'all did too. Growing up, y'all all got together as a big family. And everybody was there: the brothers, sisters, kids, and grandkids, and all of that. And yep, I know that just recently on Facebook, my brother and I and a couple of my cousins were you might have saw it about the Christmas tree that fell over, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's memories behind that stuff with us as kids and cousins growing up. Little shenanigans we did and had fun, and God, that were fun times too.
Hmm.
And the funny thing is they all remember.
Brian the Vineyard Farmhouse says he wants tacos for Thanksgiving and burritos.
I could eat that on Thanksgiving too.
Thank you, Wanda.
And
That
Pooch,
sounds so good.
Pooch, and didn't we have that one year that Pooch's famous tacos? Is that what we did? Was it last year or the year before when everybody came
Probably the
here?
year before.
And we had tacos, wasn't it?
Yep. You made your famous brisket tacos.
Yep. And my uncle, our brother-in-law Junior, he loves them.
Mm-hmm.
He says that Pooch's tacos are the standard now.
Yeah, he said he hasn't been able to find a brisket taco to match. I'm serious. And what's funny is when I first had Pooch's brisket tacos, I told him, "Hey, is the big shop open? I need to get me a water."
I'll go get you one. It's not open.
Thank you, babe. Is that he needs to have just a taco truck. Like, you don't have to do everything else.
I need
just a taco truck, because his brisket tacos are to die for. Pooch is going to go grab me a water. Thank you, baby. Rebecca says that she wanted to let you all know that Nancy and I of Our Treasured Home go live Monday night at 8:30 Central Time every other week. This week, I will be going live on Monday on my channel. Cool. All right, Rebecca. Rebecca, don't forget to drop your link. Type FBC. We do have a couple of new people in here, thank God. And then people can subscribe or check out channels and then subscribe to them. You're right, Texas Raider. If we have family, you're a rich person, most definitely. I had my Thanksgiving last month. Oh, nice. Yes. So, I think what kind of to elaborate on what Pooch was saying, it's too bad as kids that we don't have a little bit of the wisdom, and maybe some do, but that we don't have the understanding, or we're not mature enough. Thank you, babe, to relish in those times. I guess we do as kids. We relish in the times together with cousins and whatnot, but which gives us things to be thankful for. So, but I think just the understanding of how precious and important family is, when you're a little bit younger. For me, it took a minute to, and not that I took it for granted. And again, I think it's just a mature thing. You just have to grow, and that's what wisdom is, to be more thankful for
family and all from during those times. Oh Lord, because we as a Ross family, Thanksgiving and Christmas and family reunions and just holidays, 4th of July's, man, we'd get together all the time and churning ice cream, cooking out, and such good times back in those days. And that's some good memories I have growing up with hanging out with my cousins. We were all close until we all got older, and then of course we had one of my cousins passed away when we were teens, and that was a hard time. And then of course our grandparents get older and they pass, and so it's there's a lot of posts on Facebook too about times back when the grandparents were alive and families got together. That's old time stuff. It seems like nowadays, because it just doesn't happen.
That's true. I was just getting ready to say what you said was when I think I shared this before, but so when I was a receptionist, administrative assistant at my church, or at our church, I was there at the Welcome Center for a while, and I just so remember this. They were grandparents, and the reason I know is because they were having a conversation just maybe a foot away from where I was sitting and working at, and the grandfather said, have you heard from our long lost granddaughter? And his wife said, no, I haven't heard from her lately. And he said, well, I guess that's what we get for getting old. They don't remember to call us as much. And it just broke my heart. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know that people raise their families, we raise our children so that they'll leave the house, which from a mother's perspective, for me, I could go on so many different subjects in this. This is what Brian and I were talking about earlier. But anyway, it's the hardest thing for your children to fly the coop. For me, it's because as a mother, and especially be a single mother, and the only parent that they had, and have for biologically, for over 10 years, 11 years by ourselves. It was just the three of us. And so the three of us day and night living and getting through the trauma and by gypsy trails.
Have a good evening.
By making it home. Thanks for hopping in.
Yep.
But because they're there every day, all day, and they're your responsibility as a mom in my case, when they finally leave for good, oh my gosh, it is so hard. You want them to leave, you want to know, because as we get older, you never know what tomorrow brings, if tomorrow even is going to come. And the fact that that they're out there making it on their own brings you happiness. But it also, man, it tears at a mom's heart for sure. I can only speak for moms. But once they drive off, my gosh, it is a killer thing. Bittersweet, I guess. But anyways.
Tough.
Okay.
Tough time. It is a tough time. But then again, you also want them to be successful and succeed in life.
Thanks, guys.
Outside of being home,
Hi, Gail.
And it's a rough world nowadays too. Of course, rough world. I'm sure our parents thought it was rough back then in their day, but the world's ever changing. So, man, I'm glad. I'm kind of glad that we're at our age in life now and not having to try to come up in this crap. It's rough on anybody, anybody and everybody. So,
but all that to say, see, Brian, all that to say is that while those grandparents, I'm sure, were happy that their granddaughter is out on their own, just don't forget about your grandparents or your parents. Like, don't forget, they love you so much. And if they just see your faces, that it means so much to them. You don't even have to do anything. All you have to do is enter the room. And for me, anyway, you just walk in and it's like a rush of love that you've never felt before by any other human being. And when they walk in, it's just like, oh my gosh, there they are. There's my, they're my kids. And let's see here. There's Gail Southern Living. She's here. Rebecca Touched by Yarn is going to be scheduling her live tomorrow for this coming Monday on the 11th.
Rebecca Touched by Yarn on the 11th.
Wanda Henry. She is having her first live Sunday, November 10th. Wanda, did you type FBC? At 10 p.m. Atlantic Canada time. What time is that for us?
Oh, no, I have to look it up and see, but her first live. All right. Can't wait to see that. That'll be good, I'm sure.
I need to go put on my notifications.
Yeah.
So that I'll be notified. So exciting, Wanda. I cannot wait. Can't wait to see. Yes, most definitely. Congratulations. Let's see. Bowen says that I'm mad YouTube is taking views from content creators. Johnny mentioned it last night, but I saw it on my channel today. Wow.
Huh.
That stinks.
I don't even look at ours, so I couldn't tell you if it's happening to us.
I'm glad you're here, Bowen.
Yep, for sure. I have noticed.
That's true, Jan.
Dale over at 9 Acres texted me the other day, and it was a screenshot of his studio in his YouTube studio.
Thanks, Wanda.
And he had it showed that he had a bunch of likes, but yet zero views. So I don't know what YouTube's doing. I have no idea what's going on with their system, but that was kind of crazy. All these likes and comments, but zero views.
It's 9:34 where Wanda Henry is right now.
Okay, so they're 2 hours ahead of us.
So 10.
It's 7:30. 4 or 5 right now here in Texas.
Cora Phelps said it would be nice if grandkids or great grands would even come see grandma, but I don't see that happening. See, that breaks my heart, Cora. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me sad.
I just hope we have grandkids one day too, huh, babe?
I hope, but I guess if the kids choose not to, this world is
not
bad.
yet. I mean, it'll probably will happen later on down the road, but you never know either.
Yeah. Okay. So something that Brian, the Vineyard Farmhouse, and I were chatting about is he sent me. Well, okay, yeah. He sent me a meme or a TikTok video that. Hi, Amy. Hi, Chris.
Howdy, folks. Amy and Chris.
Of this little girl who her mom asks her. First of all, the title says something about introverts. And the mom asks the girl, her daughter, did you have fun? And the daughter's like, mm-hmm. And her mom said, what was the best part? And she said, leaving. And so we were at a meetup. I can't remember which one. We were all at a meetup, and Justin Backward Freedom had a live, and we were all on his live together. And then we all, I think they were all chatting and stuff after the live had ended, or maybe it was still on. I don't even remember. The reason I don't remember is because I walked away not knowing, like, I honestly, it's something that I do. But just I walked away, and Brian goes, Tish, where are you going? And I turned around and I just waved bye. I was leaving. And so Brian and I were chatting this morning about that specific thing about ADHD and ADD. Well, I clinically have ADD, where I was diagnosed as a child, but like I was telling Brian, I don't know if it was that my parents couldn't afford to put me on medicine, or if they just didn't want to. Right? And but it started rearing its ugly head pretty badly when Pooch and I got together, and we had just built the addition on to my brother's house because we lived there for a little while. And I was wrapping presents, and all of a sudden, I couldn't find the scissors, or I couldn't find the tape. I had the scissors, and I was like spinning around, literally like spinning and spinning, and was causing myself to go into like a mini panic attack. And so I just stopped, and then I calmed myself down and was like breathing and like, okay, it's scotch tape. I need to find the scotch tape. So I just kind of didn't really think there was anything really major wrong with me, other than I was like, oh my gosh, that was like so weird. I couldn't control my thoughts. Yeah, the emotion.
Where that tape was?
Yeah, where's the tape? Literally spinning around.
Where was it though?
In a drawer.
The tape?
Yeah.
I was going to say it was on the thumb of your hand.
No, it was in a drawer. And then another episode, I guess if you call it that, I was going to the closet, and I don't remember if this particular one was prior to the tape or if the tape was the first, but I went to the closet and I was putting a sandal on, and I was looking for the other sandal, and I could not focus. Like, where's my other sandal? Well, then I found it, and I was trying to put that sandal on the same foot that already had a sandal on it. And I could see what I was doing, but I was having a tough time. Like, oh my gosh, that foot already has a sandal on it. I need to put it on the other foot. Well, once I was telling Pooch about that, I was telling him, I'm very ADD. I'm very anxious. But then that also ties into walking from my attention. I told Brian that I've gone back and watched some of mine and Pooch's lives, and there are things that he's saying to me, like talking to me, and I don't even hear him, or I don't even acknowledge him. And honestly, as God is my witness, it's not out of rudeness. It's not like I'm just ignoring him, but it looks that way. I'm fine now, y'all. I'm medicated. I'm fine now. But I've gone to, well, I still don't hear him. I still have ADD, and
If
it's
she's
still
involved in something and I say something though, and I don't get a response, I know she may late response, or I'll either say it again. But usually, I mean, if you're involved doing something, I know you're in whatever it is you're doing at that moment. So
So what do you think about that? I mean,
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I'm sorry because I
No, but
honest to God don't even know.
yeah, that's just you though.
And so I shared that with Pooch, like, oh my God, something's wrong. And so he was like, you probably, maybe you should go see the doctor. And so I went, and then I took this test, and I was it was a one of the tests, Brian, if you're still on her, I don't know if you are, but one of the tests was there was this picture, and obviously I was an adult, and there was a picture, and it had a ton of stuff on it, like it was very busy. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, I can't. And I actually told the doctor, I can't do that. I was looking at the picture, and she was asking me to find like 1 to 5 things. I couldn't even find one because I was immediately overwhelmed. I looked at the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. And so yes, Gail, I'm in the zone. So some things I can hyper focus on, what the doctor calls hyper focus, if I'm in the zone or if I'm involved or
On task.
on task. And when I'm in that zone, I hear nothing else. I don't hear, or maybe I, like Pooch said, I'll answer later, or maybe I was like, hey, what did you say? And
yeah.
And
I mean, but a lot of times now we're carrying a conversation on too, especially when we both get home from work or whatever, and you want to get into, you're paying attention to phone text coming from work still or whatever, and I could say something to you, and or you'll start telling me something, and then you get sidetracked with whatever's going on over here with you text, and just then you come back to me afterward. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, then you come back to whatever. Oh, you'll go, oh yeah. Well, anyway.
That is so funny. I'm so glad we're talking about this.
Yeah.
So y'all listen.
Well,
So,
anyway.
Yes. Okay. And so
it was only 15 minutes ago. No, it's never been.
I'm sure it probably could be an hour later, but
or if you're telling me something about something, and then you get sidetracked again, and I'll just let it go because I know you're busy or doing whatever. And then okay, well, what happened with this story?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, he has done that before. He has said, so what were you saying about blah, blah, blah? And then sometimes I remember, and I was like, oh yeah. And the other is that hi Kevin, hi Jackie boy.
What's up, Kevin?
I can do one thing and be thinking of focusing about something else, hence leaving my drawers open when I'm getting ready to leave the house.
No, I laugh at that. I always think when I come home, if I get home before she does, and I will go, because usually first thing I do when I get home is I come in, get out of my work clothes and get into my easies. And I go in the room, and drawers left open where she was getting either a shirt or whatever, socks. And the drawers are just left pulled out and open. And, I'm like, well, she must have been in a hurry this morning or something.
And I don't even know that I've done that. And so all this to say, if you have a child like my son, who also his personality, there's so many things that are like, he's taken a personality test, and he's a very laid back kid, but he's also a kid with ADD and ADHD. He has both. People like us, for the most part, I can say, I know for sure him and for sure me, we do not purposely, it almost seems like it, but purposely cut people off when they're talking, or leave drawers open, or he used to leave the pantry door open, and I always knew. And what's funny is it would irritate me, but then I had to remember, I created this kid, or he's a part of me. The Lord created him, but he's part of me, and that's part of his genetics. Like he would leave it open, or he would leave something on top of the counter. I was like, oh my God, throw your stuff away, or leave a drawer open. I was like, can you not shut the drawer? But then I think, well, poor Pooch, I leave stuff open, and I'm a hot mess, man. But if I'm
And it's not that big of a deal really either. So,
But I'm not aware of a lot of things. I am aware of some things. I will say that when I used to coach, I was a director at a gym and I used to coach, and my coaches I would tell my coaches, listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. You cannot talk to me for this next hour because I won't hear you. And also, I'm focusing on this. And if you come in and start talking to me, I'm going to tell you it's going to seem rude, but I'm going to tell you, I need you to leave because I cannot focus. So it's like you can hyper focus, but then if someone comes in to distract you, I'm like, you got to go. That's all I have in me is to tell you, you got to go so I can get back on this task because I can get scattered really quick. And
I think in our early marriage, I think a lot of times you and I had probably our most important conversations is when we went to bed at night. Remember, we'd sit in bed and talk, and that because it was dark, quiet, and everything was put away. And Pretty and I would be just chatting away in bed before we went to sleep.
And we also had long conversations on the porch before our house was built out here, before we moved out here. And Pooch got to find out a lot of how crazy it was. But
yeah, we had a lot of conversations out here, didn't we?
A lot.
Those are good, and a lot of those picture memory time things have been popping up in my Facebook too lately.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and I'm like the one I put today. We were out in the shop by the wood barrel fireplace out in the shop, and man, we sit out here in the middle of the winter, ice on the ground before we had our house out here, and this is way back in 2013 and 14, and we come out here and hang out and just dead winter too. And that was before there was any lights or anything. We just sat out here in the middle of BFE.
It was dark. I know, Gail. So like for me, I don't know if it's I get overwhelmed that there's so much going on. I think what overwhelms me is that I can only pay attention to one thing, and I feel like I'm expected to be aware of my surroundings or be aware of what's going on. And when I start to clean, I'm the same way. I start one thing and then I go somewhere else and go somewhere else and go somewhere. It takes me all day to clean. Piggy says that his live Sunday is apt to be very interesting. Okay, I'm going to tune on in, Piggy.
Yep.
Let me see. I saw something. Okay, Amy. She says, see, I get that way too. My kiddos get frustrated with me when I say I can't do this right now. I need quiet sometimes. So you know what, Amy? So when my kids were younger and I was coaching and being the director there, and I was a mentor there as well. And it was just, it was a huge responsibility. And also being a perfectionist, just being in a zone happens naturally. But I used to tell my kids when they got older and they weren't coming to the gym with me any longer. When they were babies, I was blessed they were able to come. But when they got older, they would call me and I would say, honestly, but I had to sit them down and tell them, I have to tell you this about me. I had to explain to them why I was getting ready to tell them, here's a rule that I'm putting in place, because I was self-aware of, I had like a limit of how much I could hear. This is going to sound so weird. Maybe you'll understand, Amy, Brian, Gail, Heather. There's only so much that I can hear for a certain amount of time. There are only so many words that I can say without I'm like, I'm tired of talking, which you probably couldn't even think that I was tired of talking now because I talk so much. But so I said, when we're on, if you call me and I'm at work, when
not
you
being
start
short with you.
Yes, I'm not being short with you.
But I gotta
This
go.
has nothing to do with you. And I hope I don't hurt your feelings. But this is how I'm wired. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to hear you. It's how I'm wired. They know now because they're adults.
I know that too when I call and talk to you during the day.
You do?
Well, yeah. If I call you, because I call just to see what you're doing sometimes. And then
like today.
Yeah, I can always tell if she's involved in something and she ain't got no time to be chit-chatting. So She's busy and she's in something at that time, and that's her fault. Regardless if she's talking to me or whoever, whatever she's on task with is where her mind is.
Okay, so let me tell you this, and then I have to tell you about how it happened today. So I would tell my kids, Amy, when we're on the phone and I can only hear you for so long or listen for so long. Again, that's on me. You're great kids, and I love you so much, and I want to hear what you're saying, but I can't hear what you're saying if I'm at my limit. So and you can ask my kids. I hope I get them on here sometime. They would call, and they would be talking. And my son being ADD, ADHD, he would go into different conversations, and I would like try to keep up. And I would say, while we're on the phone, I would say, "Okay, I'm at my limit. I'm done. I gotta go. I can't. I'm in love with you, but I'm at my limit. I'm done." And at first, for them, it was a little hard. They were like, "Gosh, Mom," I was like, "I really can't do this. Like, I really can't." To the point where it's frustrating when people don't understand. But they got to the point where they understand. Or all I would say is, "I'm in love with you. I'm at my limit. I gotta go. Okay, I'll talk to you later." And I would go. Same with my coaches. I can't hear you right now. I can't do it. I'm done.
And Sonny is the same way in a lot of that way too. Sonny's all over the place,
Ooh,
boy.
You can have like a million conversation, or you can have one conversation about a
But you're
million
going to
different
cover
topics.
a million. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So then back today. See, I remembered. Yes, Gail, it is like your brain is full. It's like just everybody calm down. I need a minute, and I am done listening for right now. I need to just decompress. And even at night, a lot of times I can't sleep real well is because my brain is going through everything that I did through the day. Did I do a good job at work? Was there something I need to tell the other associate when I get to work tomorrow? What do I need to do tomorrow? My head's already thinking about that. But today I have to tell you what Pooch is referring to, because I said it happened today because I know it did, because he called me this morning. It was like 11 or 10:30ish.
Yeah, 10:30.
And I had already started getting calls from work, which I can handle that. I'm not blowing smoke, but I'm a good director. I'm a good boss because I'm focused on the tasks. My team needs me. I know my husband, my family need me. When I'm going to work, that's my thing. That's my thing. When I'm interviewing somebody on my podcast, sometimes I see the chat, sometimes I don't, and it's not out of rudeness. That I'm honed in on my guest. But this morning, I wasn't planning on going into work until later. And the phone rang immediately, and the power to the phone lines at work had gone down. So, and the other front desk associate, she was calling me from her cell phone. So I was like, okay, is the internet down as well? Are the computers working? Is electricity out? And she said the computers were down. She went through the whole scenario. And then I said, okay, well, let me think. I got to see who I need to get in touch with. Do I need to get in touch with our phone providers? Because our phones now are attached to this program that's attached to our program on our computers. It's a big thing. So I was like, I need to figure out who I need to call. Electricity's
Internet,
on. It's not the electricity.
IP phones.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes. So it's not the electricity. I don't need to call the electric company. So it must be whoever our company is or our program is with
your ISP.
IP. Yeah. So then I go and find all that. And then that person's texting me, the IT person's texting me and saying, can you tell her to go do this? And I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, I said, yes, I can do that. Then Pooch calls. And, I want to hear about his day, but then I'm thinking, okay, I got to remember she needs to unplug this, leave it off for a second or 10 seconds, plug it back in, wait 3 minutes. And then if the phones don't start working, then she's going to call me back so I can call the IT person back. So Pooch calls and I'm like, hey, babe. And he goes, what you doing? I go, I'm stopping to get coffee, and it's our front desk associate's birthday. So I'm getting her a gift card and a cake pop, and what's going on? And he's like, I'll just go and see what you're doing. I was like, okay, I got to go. I got to go, babe. I got to go. Because my brain was
focused on getting the coffee and the cake pop and then getting to work and getting that straightened out.
Yes.
And what can I do on the way there to speed up the process?
Yes. I had started the process on the phone via text. And not that I don't have time, but in my mind, okay, I can't take anymore. Babe, what do you got?
And I was
What you got?
like, oh, I thought you'd already be at work. And then, because I was getting off work, actually, I was done for the day. And I just thought I'd catch her, see if she was home, coming back. She goes, no, I'm just now going into work. And all the rigmarole that was going on that she was dealing with.
My poor baby.
So I just came on to the house and did my thing.
Yeah. And I was like, I gotta go. I can't. What you got? You got something important?
I didn't have nothing important. So
he is important, and what he says is, but you got something for me to do. What you got is what you got. And then and then it was nothing. Not that it wasn't nothing, but he was like, oh, I'll just see what you're doing. I was like, okay, well, I gotta go. And he knows how I am. So okay, let me go back up. Somebody said some stuff. I need to see what's going on. Yes, it's like your brain is full. Wanda Henry says, "Oh, Tish, I was like that for years. When I turned 50, it all changed. Now I go to sleep." And so I'm past 50 and it's getting worse.
Uh-oh.
Like my brain is on and on and on. And
that's why we need to hurry up and retire.
Yeah.
And we can retire from the work world. Because Pooch handles multiple things at once most of the time. So
let me see what Brian says. He says, sometimes Papa asks me to do something and it could be said in a couple of words and it feels like he's giving me a dissertation. I already knew what he was talking about within the first few seconds. That's hysterical.
Yeah. I know what you mean with that too, Brian, because all I need is a couple words. I don't need a whole drawn out thing. Just tell me something and whatever it is I need to know and let me get after it. And instead of going through the whole rigmarole.
I go through the rigmarole.
Yeah.
I go through the whole thing. I leave. So my voice messages are two-part because it's so much. It's so detailed.
And most of the time, especially like in my job, though, I already know what needs to be done and what needs to happen. And I'm already on it, way ahead of it. So
do you ever say, yep, okay, I know. Or do you let them go ahead and give their dissertation?
No, I usually drop it real quick. And that's something that I'm guilty of. If you saying you're not paying you come across as not paying attention to somebody when you maybe are, but I come across as somebody probably being rude because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm good. And then I'm ready to go get off the phone. I don't want to sit and chat and go through
and see,
all
somebody
of it.
like me would be, but do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what steps? You know what I'm, do you even know what I'm talking about when you say, got it, you know?
Yeah.
But also on the flip side of that, for me, so I do get irritated, or I don't know if it's irritated, but I used to be the lead coach and I would have an assistant, and I wanted an assistant. Again, it's the perfectionism. I wanted an assistant almost that could read my mind or know my faults. So because I wanted her to be that way, him or her, I would say, here's what I need from you, and make sure they understood what I needed. I'm not a good timekeeper. So in our class, we had to move at a certain time to different parts of the gym so we could get the skills in, whether it was balance beam, bars, or tumbling. We had an hour, and I would say, this is what I need you to do. And I trusted them to do it. And I'd say, I need you to be my timekeeper. So once we're 20 minutes up on this, I'd say, Tish, you good? Then I'll know, okay, it's time for us to go. And the other thing is, if you hear me say, okay, now it's time for us to get a piece of equipment out, that's your cue to go and get the piece of equipment, because I have to keep the kids, my students, sitting here and occupied and not running all over the place. So that's what I need from you. And if they didn't do that, I was like, oh my gosh,
I'll get up and do it myself.
Yeah. So yes, I need you to understand quick, but also I'll sit and explain to you every detail so that you will understand.
Yeah. I don't need no explanation.
You don't need explanation.
I probably should be explaining to them what they need to be doing. Somebody else's job. Which I've done that too. So, but yeah.
Very interesting.
Especially multitasking. I mean, that's a lot of what I do is multitask. So, I'm
multitask as well, but sometimes.
And I don't need distractions or disturbances I don't need somebody telling me what and how and all that other stuff. I'm like, I already got it done, man. Just stay in your lane.
Huh. Kevin Hiking with Jack Boy says, I usually have flight of thought. It takes me a lot of focus to do what he needs to do. Texas Raiders said he thought that they had subbed to you at Piggy's Piddles, but he wasn't, so he corrected that. Nice. Thanks for subbing.
Yeah. Thank you,
Texas Raider, for being here.
You betcha.
And all of you
I'll
guys for
come
being
through
here.
and make sure and see if I'm subbed to you.
Simply Jan says she does that too. Oh, she had to go. I'm sorry, Jan. We didn't get to say bye to Jan. Bye, Jan.
Yep. Bye, Jan. If you watched the rerun.
Oh, Jan
but
says,
we were hot on her off of her live, I think, too. So
yes,
we looked to make sure we wasn't going to be getting in. And if we are on somebody else's live,
we're sorry.
We're sorry.
Bone says, that's me. I tell a whole story. I can't help it. Yeah. I tell a whole story.
I'm like,
but when we first met, you really listened to me.
Well, I listened to you, but if it's job related for me, I'm like, no, we need to go. Because you are my focus when it's you and I. So, but I know you too now a lot more as well. So,
what do you mean?
I know how you are.
But do you still listen to me?
Of course I do. Do you not think I do?
Sometimes you don't.
Oh, really?
Oh, my eyes are doing that weird thing. Sometimes.
Do you think I don't?
Sometimes I don't think you hear me. Because then I'll say, babe, did you hear what I said? And you're like, yeah. And then I'll say, what'd I say?
And I repeat it word for word.
Sometimes. Jan says, now her brain has slowed down and I can manage my thoughts. Nice. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Gail says, I have trouble reading long text or emails. Is that related to? Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's too much.
I'm not even, I don't.
Out.
See, that's the thing for me too. I don't text much. I don't get into that. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just a bad person or something. I mean, because I don't like talking on the phone. I don't text really much. And especially if I get in a group chat, I'm like, really?
I leave him out of them now because I know he's not going to read me.
Yeah.
He silences them or he gets out of them.
I get out of them or silence them. And then I know baby will let me know what I need to know. So
yeah, I leave him out of it. Yes, Gail. If it's a novel, I'm out. I've started about 6 books and I can't. They have to be audio books. So then I know when I'm at my limit, I can just stop it and then pick up when I have time. And it's not out of rudeness. I just can't. Hi, Teresa. Oh, thank you. She says we have great topics. Thank you for being here. Let me see what Brian said.
This was a spur of the moment topic too, actually, kind of. We just kind of, because this isn't our normal night to be live either. But
okay, so Brian says I could be making coffee in the morning and my brain will be working so hard on something that I forgot I was making coffee. Yeah.
And you didn't even get to drink it when it was hot.
Oh, bye, Evelyn.
Yep. Bye, Evelyn. Thanks for joining us on Friday night.
Kevin says, I always thought of my job as kindergarten class.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I wonder sometimes too, believe me.
My favorite thing is tell me the time, not how to build the watch.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
That's the best. Yeah. Hey, there's Jan. She's still here. Jan, I saw your messages earlier and I hope. So here's my hope, Jan, and I don't know, maybe you can help me. Is I hope that when we retire that my brain is able to manage its thoughts, but then I don't want to slow down so much that I lose my way of thinking because I think a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Jan, how do you feel about that? Everybody hates group chats.
I know when I'm retired, I will not have a phone, period. I'm going to ditch. I have 2 phones now, and I'm ditching both of them. I will not have a phone when I'm done. Baby will have a phone, and she already knows if somebody wants to talk to me or whatever, they're going to have to go through her, and she'll tell you who it is, and I'll be like,
so if y'all call him and want to speak to him and I say, hold on, and then I get back on and I say, you know what, he's doing something right now, then that means he gave you that.
Well, here, just tell Pooch this. As a matter of fact, I know there's somebody that was in here earlier, and I did see the comment. Pooch, why haven't you called me yet? I'm sorry,
He's the worst.
I haven't called you, but
Need
I
to
just you. Yeah, I'm wanting to say because you're going to have to call me, but then
Oh,
again, you're
hi,
probably going to
Wanda.
miss it.
I'm gonna miss you. I love your comments, Wanda.
Yep. Have a good
Have a
evening,
good
Wanda.
night. Can't wait to see your live.
Right?
Okay, what's this with kindergarten?
I
I don't
know.
understand because Kevin said somebody, and then Brian says, "Don't even get me started on kindergarten." What does that mean? I wasn't thinking nothing in kindergarten. My brain was not overwhelmed. I was just in. I was there.
Probably being treated like they're in kindergarten or something. Or Kevin's case was he's teaching kindergartners, and Brian's probably thinking his dad talks to him like he's still in kindergarten.
Piggy.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but
Piggy says, not that I would, because I don't. But if I did and got the put off, don't worry about me calling again. I got the message. but know that Pooch loves you, even though he doesn't call. Kevin says, I know I'm retired. I will still be getting up early.
Oh, I'll be doing that for sure.
And Brian says, Pooch, he gave up on the call a long time ago.
If it was you, Brian, I'm sorry, but I just thinking of a recent one, and I know it was Jerry at Butler Family Farm.
But we love Jerry.
Yeah. I don't do that. It's not me.
He doesn't.
And
it's not just a one particular person. It's anybody.
Yeah. I mean, she's always, have you talked to your mom? You talk to your dad? I'm like,
Yep. All the time. Have you called your mom? Have you called your dad? Have you heard from your mom? Have you heard from your dad? And I think more so, I mean, obviously I love his parents. I haven't seen his dad in a long time. I've actually got something for his dad I need to take to him just on a personal visit because I haven't seen his family in a while. But
yeah, I just don't do those, make those calls.
Yeah.
I call my Freddie, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Or he'll shoot me a text.
Yeah. I will do that.
But it's not all the time. It's not, it's not even all the time with me. But
anytime my phone rings now, I'm just like, God, especially my work phone. Boy, I hate that thing. I hate that work phone. I don't even know where it is right now either. So I hope. And when I get a lot of calls for work related through the phone, and that's a priority because that's my job. But I don't even know what I did with it.
Let's not be that big of a
ain't
priority.
That important. It's Friday evening. I don't need my phone. Hope it ain't going off and places burning down or something.
Salty Life. How are you guys? Good to see y'all. Happy you're here. We were just talking about all things ADD, ADHD.
Mm-hmm. I gotta go look just because it's got me curious now.
But so Brian, like with your Brian, let me ask you this, because that coffee thing, like there can be things that I am doing and then something else, like while I'm doing that, something else happens, so I'll go do whatever else came into my head and then forget what I was doing a minute ago and then don't even do it, and then later on I'm like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to be doing blah blah blah. Does that worry you at all? I mean, I know a lot of people, it happens to a lot of people as they get older. You're forgetful, or you walk into a room, and which I do all the time. I walked into the room and I was going to ask one of my girls if they wanted me to block off some time for them, if they wanted to leave early. But then I go and I walked into the room and I looked at my boss and I was like, I was going to ask you something, but I forgot. It was like about 10 feet and 10, 12 feet. And so she was like, okay, well, if you remember, let me know. So I come back, I go back to front desk, and the other front desk associate said, what did she say? And I was like, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to ask her. And she was like, you were going to ask her about blocking off the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't even my boss that I had something to ask. It was one of the girls. So I walked back and I was like, wasn't even talking to you, to my boss. I wasn't even talking to you. You do you want us to block off the rest of your day? And she was like, yes. I was like, okay. So I go back to the front. I was like, yes, she wants to do block. But like, I will. So does that worry you? Gail leaves the oven on sometimes. So does my son. He leaves it on too. And the only reason I know is because I'm like, it's kind of warm in here. And then I'll look at the oven. I'm like, oh my gosh, he left the oven on. But does that worry you that you forget?
You're involved in something else. Something
Kevin
else
says,
took your mind.
I'll be missing my cell phone allowance from work, but not the work calls.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Heck with that.
Texas Raider 1122 says, I'm at the age, and yes, I'm retired, that I can go into a room and forget why I went in there. Yes. Oh my gosh. Gail leaves the oven on. Gail.
Wow.
Gail, be careful. Brian says, I'll still be in the process of making coffee, but then, okay, yeah. Then he finds himself staring at the wall or get distracted. But does that scare you?
Staring at the wall.
Oh my gosh.
That's when you get in a trance, I guess.
I go there a lot.
And you're just, your mind's in everything, but yet you're not focused on nothing. And you're just kind of.
Yes. I go there a lot.
Like sitting in a dark room, just staring in the darkness.
And being fine with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you come back to reality and it's like, same when you're driving.
Oh, yeah.
It really is Jesus take the wheel.
I know when I used to drive tractor trailers and would be on a long day of driving, because, that's what you did back when you drove over the road. And I would come to my senses and think, what happened to the last 300 miles or whatever? I mean, what in the world where was my mind during that last stretch that I just now came into and thinking, dang.
Hope everybody was okay. Yeah. I guess they were because
you just got off in who knows what, because I don't remember what it was, but it was kind of scary too, actually. You get in a trance and you're just watching those white lines and.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day. I was like, oh my gosh. Brian says he gets deep in thought and he forgets what his body is doing. Glenn and Shannon Salty Life says it's the hereafter, as in, what am I hereafter?
Uh-huh.
Kevin said he needed to go and check the oven.
Yeah.
It is automatic mode when you're driving.
Yeah.
I think your body knows, your mind knows.
Yeah, but I hope reaction time's good during that time if something was to happen, instead of just plowing through whatever. I mean, I think that's probably, well, I know that's what happens to a lot of truck drivers when they get in these bad wrecks or go to sleep behind the wheel and wind up crashing into a embankment or a bridge pillar or something. They just zoned out. And that's one thing. When I first started driving, I got with a team as a team driver, and I thought, I can't do this. I can't do team driving, because I was more worried about, when you're team driver, one guy's in the berth and one guy's behind the wheel. And then my thought was, I had this fool sitting over here with me the whole time I'm driving, and it's time for him to drive and me to go back there and go to sleep. And I'm like, no way. This dude ain't shut his eyes once. And I'm fixing to try to go to sleep back there while he drives? No, it ain't happening.
I wouldn't want a partner.
No, I didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't do that. I think one round, maybe a month. I was done with that real quick.
Heather says the same thing. She says, I get in deep thought and forget what my body is doing sometimes. Isn't that crazy? How you get into deep thought and you forget what your body is doing, but your body, you're still doing. I don't know.
Me and baby find ourselves sitting in the dark a lot in there watching our phone, something on our phone.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, we're like, can you believe we're in here and we're in the dark?
You ain't got a light one on in the house and it's dark. I'm in the recliner, she's over on the couch, and we're just, but I enjoy it, I guess. I mean, it's like tonight's Friday night. I have a slew of, not a slew, but I have 2-3 channels that I watch on Friday nights. And I know they're waiting for me to come in there and throw myself back in the recliner and watch them.
There are.
I'm sure they are.
Brian. Brian says, sometimes I go on automatic mode while I'm in my lives. So that was another thing. Like, again, it's not so like with ADD for me, it's not, I'm not trying to be rude. It's in my brain. If I'm not stimulated by it, meaning if I'm not really into it or interested, I tune you out. Or I will like Brian has seen me do. I'll walk away if I'm bored. I'm like, don't want to. I'm not
Baby
gonna
just walked away from that.
did. I just walked
Where are you
away.
going?
And I was like, bye.
She was done.
I was done. Like that was it's so funny that Brian saw that the first time, but probably because you're that way, Brian.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this conversation, no, I'm not. So I walked away. And if I'm not stimulated and again, not out of rudeness, but with my ADD, if it's not interesting to me,
you're out.
I am out. I'm out.
Once the fun stopped, she's out.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's like, let me think what they're talking about. And then I'm like, nah. I just can't focus. I honestly, I can't focus because I'm like, that's boring to me. Like, I can't say, but like, I'll subscribe to channels and watch their stuff. I will. And especially if they're good friends with me, I'll watch it. But I'm not going to lie. Sometimes, as much as I love everybody in this community, sometimes there are some video, and I'm sure like everybody on everybody comes to my, that's not a good,
I
don't like that topic. I'm not going to really
get in on it.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll watch. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
But you put it out and did it though.
Yes.
And most of the times, if I don't watch it, I may come in and watch a little and leave a thumbs up and maybe my normal thing in the comments, the cowboy hat, smiley face, hook 'em horns, and a heart.
Mm-hmm.
Just let them know Pooch was there.
And same with going to the theater. Like my son has invited me to go see movies, and I'm like, well, what movie? Because if it's a sci-fi, like Star Wars, sci-fi, history, like certain types of history, there's certain things I'm like, then you can buy my ticket because I'm not spending $10 to go in there and take a nap. Yeah. That's what happens. I'll go in there and I swear I will try so hard to stay focused. Like what's going on?
I've done that too.
And then I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening. So I'll clock back and take a nap. And he quit buying me tickets.
That's what happens to Pooch. A lot of times I'll take a nap. We hadn't been to the movie in a long time though either. There ain't been nothing worth to go see.
There hasn't been.
Only one I thought about going and seeing was the Horizons, but then I heard it's 3 hours long and it sucked, which I probably will watch it here, which I can now, but don't know if it'll hold me.
Okay, so there's Gail, and she did say that she went in the kitchen and the oven really was on.
Oh, wow.
Gail. Brian says, my face will blink, smile, and twitch based on what people are saying, but I'm checked out.
Brian, I'm going to really start watching close now to see what you're doing. If I know what zone you're in, Brian.
Teresa Jugo would say,
Brian's in auto mode.
Glenn and Shannon Live said, my father-in-law told me a story about riding with a cross-eyed man through the mountains. Said he was driving with his good eye and how nervous he was.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sure. You're hoping it doesn't go to where the cross eye was leading you in the ditch or something.
I'm dead. And he was nervous. How nervous he was. Oh my gosh. Glenn and Shannon, y'all are just hysterical. Y'all are just Brian, same. He said, "I watched Star Wars many, many times, and I still don't know what the plot is about." I don't either.
I never was a Star Wars fan. Couldn't do it.
And then people wonder why misunderstandings occur.
Yep. True. I'm a Western kind of guy anyway. I'd rather watch good Westerns. There ain't been a good Western in a long time. I have to go in there and watch one here. And hey, I've sat out here and watched them. A lot of times Pretty will be in there and I'm out here and I'm over here watching something most of the time.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll, be in the house and again, do my own thing in my zone. And I'll like, think, where's Pooch? Because I'm in my zone and I'm like, wait a minute, something's missing. Where's Pooch? He's been gone for a long time. So then I'll come out here, I'll yell, babe, I'll walk out. He's not in the big shop. And then I will come and check in here. And then he's in here like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm watching Western or watching whatever. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yep. I'm guilty of it. That's what I did today, actually. I watched the movie out here when I got home from work.
You did?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing when I got home? When I pulled up?
I was finished with it then, but.
What movie?
Oh, it was, I don't even know. it was a low budget movie that I was watching off YouTube too. So,
okay. Yeah,
it was pretty good, but a lot of those free movies you come on YouTube, some of them are good. And some of them are cheesy. And, that's sometimes you can get original movies on YouTube too, but I was watching a cheesy low budget movie. It was about some prisoners that escaped the chain gang and went on a spree, and the boyfriend was after them because they kidnapped his girlfriend. And I mean, it was just very low budget type movie.
Piggy said there's not been a good Western since John Wayne and Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, man, I love those. I've watched them still over and over. Clint Eastwood movies.
See, that's another thing. I watch the same stuff over and like every
Lonesome
morning.
Dove. I've watched that whole series. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, you have.
Young Guns and
I can't.
Tombstone and Billy the Man. I've watched all of them. Yeah, I still do too.
He does, and I can't. I'm like, I'm out. But I'll wake up and my go-to. So someone even said that when you watch things on repeat.
I know what baby watches all the time.
Watch either Survivor or I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy most of the time.
When I'm getting ready in the morning, it's on.
I Love Lucy most of the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I'll go in and I'm trying to figure out, do I want to watch YouTube? Do I want to watch an I Love Lucy, which I've seen a million times, every episode? Do I want to watch Survivor? And which, by the way, they had called again and I was like, I'm not.
Couldn't or didn't want to?
Well, I don't want to because they changed the way the game is played. And I'm like, I like the old way.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell them, I'll as if I'm some movie star. I'll come and play that game for you if you play it the old way, because I don't like the new way.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I watch the same thing over and over and over again. Let me see what's going on. Let me see.
Baby knows what I'm watching when she hears a bunch of pew, 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 right?
And I'm like, how do you watch that when you know that crap's fake? You hear pew, 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 and I'm like, that is the dumbest sounding gun I've ever heard in my life. Like even I can't take it, and I'm not even watching it. I'm like, I gotta go. That is so stupid.
Yep.
And he's over there watching it.
Hey, Clint Eastwood did them good though. The most spaghetti westerns. When they're shooting out of the canyon or something and ricocheting off a rock. Or whatever.
My gosh. How do you watch that? Legit, like for real. You do hear that. And it's like that. It's so fake. And then like sometimes I hear that and I can go to his chair and kind of go around and like see what he's watching, and it is so dumb.
I may have to watch one tonight now that I'm talking about it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm behind on these comments. Brian said a few weeks ago, I almost fell off my chair in my life.
What?
Because you were in a zone. Everybody agrees with Piggy. There have not been any good Westerns since John Wayne and Clint Eastwood. Nope. Amy wants to know, Brian, when was that?
Yeah.
Glenn and Shannon said, we watched the original Red Dawn the other day on YouTube. What's that?
That's a war movie, I think.
Huh.
Red Dawn.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think so. Is it? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Uh,
Why are we getting that low signal? I wonder.
I wonder if we're. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we're not even on Wi-Fi though.
I think I am. Oh, we're not.
No, we're on land. We're landline here. It's gone now. That's crazy.
Okay, wait. What does Bowen say? Bowen says some are good, some are like I just wasted 2 hours of my life that I'll never get back.
That's why I'm hesitant on watching the Kevin Costner Horizon movie that was supposed to be a series, a 3-part series or 4-part, and it was a big to do about the movie Horizon. And the first one that come out's 3 hours long, and then I heard it was a just wasn't. Now I'm interested in watching it. Just when will I do it? But
when you want to waste 3 hours of your life?
I mean, because it's really, it'll have to keep me involved in it too. So, but I also like good war movies as well. So I can watch those. I've seen a lot of them over and over too. I just need that action type stuff.
So I know why I watch stuff again and again and again. It's something about it's just well, I guess for everybody, it's a feel good show.
Yeah. And I'm already thinking, all right, the week I'm off coming up again, I guess I'll get to watch a lot of movies again. Because it'd probably be, I don't know if it'll be cold yet or not outside, which I'll probably hole up in here and baby leave in the morning. I'll come out with my coffee and baby will come home. And I'm like, what'd baby do?
There's been many staycations and I'm like, what'd you do today? It's like, I watched movies.
Nothing.
So Gail, I do too. And I filled out the whole application to be on Survivor, and they called my cell phone, and I needed to do a video and submit my video. And then I also had to submit some answers to their questions. They recorded the answers and then they said, if we like what we hear, we'll call you back. So then they did. And then I started watching the newer Survivors because this was recently within this year, earlier in the year. And then I was like, I don't know. But then they asked if I would send some of my pictures, and I did. And then I just decided, I'm not going to do it. Well, then they just called back recently, and they were because I told them, how old I was, and I'm a Survivor fan, and just a little bit of what I've been through. But so I can make it. I can do it. I can be on Survivor. And they called back, and I was like, yeah, I'll submit it. I'll do it, but I never did. I was like, I'm out. Bowen says he loves Red Dawn. We care about you too, Heather.
Yep. Hope you're doing better. And I hope the family that lost their father is doing better as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's still something hard to deal with. But prayers for her, family, and you, Heather.
Piggy said, I did my time in the butts on the rifle range. That sound is pretty close.
Yep. Yeah, babe. Piggy knows what the bow, bow is.
Oh, wow. How funny. Glenn said, dang, Tish, that's a Shannon go-to in the morning while she's getting ready, along with Andy Griffith, I Dream of Jeannie. Oh, how funny.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
Brian, he said, I don't know, Amy, there was something about cows. Maybe you felt like someone was tipping you.
Oh,
Bye,
yeah.
Teresa. Yeah, we're getting ready to hop off. Troy said, I like the Westerns. He likes the My Name is Trinity series.
Oh,
Westerns.
Lord, me too. Me too.
Is that new or old?
No, it's old, but I like those too, Troy. Especially
by Teresa.
Especially the scene where he's been out and he comes in to the old restaurant and he takes that skillet of beans and that bread, and that ain't starving, that's famine. I love that part.
Is that where you got that?
Yeah.
From the Trinity series? Holy smokes.
Yep. That ain't starving. That's famine.
He says that at least once a week. Piggy said, about the best I ever saw was a silent movie, not much dialogue, but the actors were so good you didn't need much dialogue. That's a good movie then.
Yeah.
And good acting. Brian said, this life is pretty good. I haven't gone into automatic mode once. Oh my god!
I have to show you that scene I'm talking about too, so you'll know where it came from. Off Trinity, they call me.
There's
Trinity.
Butler Family Farm. Says, "Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Jerry?
The butts are behind the brim, below the targets. Once a shot is made on that target, you pull it down and mark it for the shooter. So yeah, you're very close to the round when it hits." All right. Yep. Bye, Amy. Okay. Yep. I think we're out of here.
Yep. We just wanted to hop in and get us some time in on a Friday night, 8:31. Yeah, and I still don't know why that keeps popping up. But,
look,
oh well.
Jerry, you'll have to go back and watch some of this because Mike,
we talked about that.
Pooch just went through his whole, I don't really call people.
Yeah.
I don't call
and it's
people.
Not
and
void or anything. It's just, I'm not a phone person and all. So,
and Brian, the Vineyard Farmhouse, just said he gave up on Pooch calling him anymore because Pooch doesn't call people.
I'm not a phone person. I don't call and I don't text. And
yeah.
It's not because I'm ignoring you. It's not me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Heather. Well, we'll pray for you and the family. Texas Raider, thanks for staying with us the whole time. You have a good night as well.
Yep.
He will not answer the phone.
Yep.
He won't. I'm telling you. Like earlier in the live, and we got to go, but earlier in the live, he even said that I'm the one that has to remind him to call his mom or call his dad. And he's like, okay, I will. And then sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. So yeah, he's just whatever. Okay.
But we appreciate everybody coming in here.
Texas Raider said, I'll send you a telegram if I ever need to contact you.
You'd probably be better catching me on an email than anything, really.
That's funny. Well, you guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us this Friday night. And we will see you guys.
Appreciate all of you. Yep.
Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Pretty Pooch.
Yep. Maybe we'll put a video out or something. But anyway, y'all remember, everybody needs a friend named Pooch, and they call me Pooch.
And everybody needs a little pretty in their life.
And she's my pretty. Appreciate it, folks. Hit that thumbs up, and we'll see you again.
See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.